This Christmas marks our 3rd anniversary, and the night he said yes to my proposal. A receipt from a branded jewelry store was tucked into his suit pocket, what I thought was a ritual unique to us. Later, I found out that it was a gift for his first love. Kara, I can't marry Leah. I've already hurt her so much, why can't you understand me? The man held his first love and coaxed her in a low voice, perfunctorily and impatiently towards me. After he left in a hurry, I was silent for a while and finally called home. Mom, I agree to the arranged marriage you mentioned last time. 1. My mother on the other end of the phone was stunned at first, then overjoyed. Kara, you've finally come to your senses. Mom is so happy. I've always said that Yates was unreliable, nowhere near as good to you as Xavier. When is Kara coming home? I have to tell Xavier this good news as soon as possible. I wonder how happy he'll be when he hears it. Listening to my mother's rambling, my heart ached. I've been in love with Yates for 3 years. I used to think we were a match made in heaven, that we would never let go of each other's hands even in death. But I didn't expect his love to have an expiration date, and before the 7-year itch, he started hurting me on our proposal day. I've booked a flight for 3 days later, Mom. I'll be home next Monday. As soon as I hung up the phone, Yates returned with a cup of milk tea. Kara, I was a little hurtful just now. Try this new Christmas limited edition milk tea. It's your favorite strawberry flavor. Yates is usually a straight man. Although he is gentle, he doesn't pay much attention to these milk teas and desserts. So why did he just buy the newly released limited edition milk tea? It was probably left over from Leah, his first love, after a buy one get one free deal. I avoided his hand that wanted to hold mine without a trace, and said calmly, It's very late now. I don't really want to drink. The man looked at me with some guilt. Kara, I waited in line for a long time for this. Can you forgive me? I admit that the ring wasn't expensive enough this time, but our love is priceless. His brazen complaint almost made me laugh. How come I never noticed that Yates was so frugal before? A fake silver ring called not expensive enough? Moreover, we are not students. He has spent millions on a custom-made gold ring for Leah, and then gave a fake ring to his girlfriend, who he has supported for 3 years. And such love has the face to say it is priceless? My thoughts were pulled back. I don't want to discuss with him whether it is expensive enough or not. I just want to get rid of him quickly. I'm not angry. I'm a little sleepy. I want to go to sleep. He was about to come over and pull me, but was interrupted by a coquettish female voice. Sister Kara, why are you so materialistic? It turns out that Brother Yates' love is not as valuable as other people's expensive rings in your eyes? Clearly it was me who was wronged, but Leah slapped me with the label of materialistic with one sentence. The guilt in Yates' eyes completely disappeared, replaced by a righteous accusation. Kara, even if I have a problem today, but it's meaningless for you to keep nagging. I know you feel faceless, but we don't live our lives for outsiders to see. Looking at the arrogant Leah and Yates who looked down at her, I felt a little annoyed. I said, I don't want to discuss this anymore. As soon as I finished speaking, Leah actually shrank directly into Yates' arms, looking at me pitifully. Sister Kara, I know you're unhappy because Brother Yates gave me a more expensive gift. I can return it to you, don't scold me, okay? Yates hugged Leah without hesitation, raised his eyes and scolded me. Kara, you've really changed. You're getting more and more materialistic and irritable. Are you still the same Kara? The man's words made me a little stunned. He felt that I had changed, but hadn't he changed? The previous Yates would coax me, would give in to me, would choose me unswervingly, would buy gifts for me with all his living expenses. But now this man who glared at me, is he still my Yates? I looked at the affectionate couple, feeling a little lost, and pulled the corners of my mouth to squeeze out a smile. I'm really not angry, I'm a little sleepy. I'll go to the study to sleep. You guys do whatever you want. The last smile was not for the one who betrayed me, but for our first acquaintance, for the Yates who once regarded me as his life. 2. Lying on the bed in the study, I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. Yates and Leah's laughter was not at all reserved for me, and I could hear it clearly through the door. Brother Yates, I'm so sorry. I didn't know Sister Kara was so difficult to please. After all, If it were me, I would be very happy to drink the milk tea you queued up for personally. Don't mention her. How could I have spoiled her like that in 3 years? She doesn't have your gentleness and consideration at all. It's no wonder that after being with me for 3 years, he knows best where to stab the knife. And before we even broke up, he couldn't wait to compare us. Now he thinks he's tired of loving for 3 years and wants to force me to break up and find a new lover? Brother Yates, do you like Sister Kara more or me? Brother Yates, do you still remember when we were young? We were each other's first love when we were young. At that time, my parents always joked that I would marry you when I grew up, and you would always blush, as if you were really going to marry me. Leah, I will never forget the beautiful memories I had with you. Forever unforgettable. This word sounds so solemn and unfamiliar to me. It seems that the shelf life of Yates' love is only for me. 3 years is enough for him to go from cherishing me to discarding me like a worn-out shoe. But for Leah, he still remembers clearly the jokes we made in kindergarten. It turns out that it wasn't the matter that was wrong. It was the person who was wrong. The two people separated by a wall were still whispering, laughing and playing from time to time. I was annoyed and wanted to open the drawer to find earplugs. Unexpectedly, I found the doll I originally wanted to give to Yates on the table, a handmade doll. I have never been good at needlework, but after being with Yates, I have also been learning to surprise him. Although this doll is not expensive, I stayed up late for 3 months to knit it, and my hands were full of wounds. Originally, I wanted to give it to him as a surprise after proposing, but I didn't expect the man to have already left me. Forget it. I went to bed with the doll, but the tears couldn't stop flowing. Tears soaked a large area of the pillowcase, making me wonder if these were really the tears of Kara, who never cried. Doll, are you crying with me too? The cold doll couldn't speak. It just lay quietly in my arms. It was snowing heavily outside the window, and although the heater was on inside, I still felt cold to the bone. In this kind of weather, Yates would always hold me in his arms and warm my feet with his hot chest. Kara, with me, you will never be cold. But how could this man bear to deceive me? To deceive this girl who fell in love with him at first sight and never let him down for 3 years. I cried with the doll all night. The next morning, I got dressed and forced myself to go find Yates. I have to make it clear to him. I don't love him anymore, I'm leaving. The man was busy in the kitchen, and when he saw me, he gave me a big smile. Kara, what do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Looking at his eyes that could almost drown me, I was a little dazed. Yesterday he was clearly scolding me. How come he seems to be back to the beginning of our relationship today? I don't want to eat anything. There's something I want to tell you. I didn't lie to him. After crying all night and deciding to break up, I really had no appetite. Kara, you can't say that. You look so haggard now. I'm really heartbroken. Moreover, you're so thin. How can you not eat? Yates was wearing an apron and smiling, with a little flower on the tip of his nose, gentle and jade-like. Looking at the chiffon cake that Yates brought to the dining table for me, my heart ached even more. How long has it been since I've eaten a cake made by Yates? He used to love me so much, knowing that I love sweets. He would excitedly sign up for a class to learn how to make cakes. I complained that such a big executive, learning to cook every day? It would be so embarrassing if his subordinates knew. But he always smiled at me proudly and said, "They all have to learn from me how to cherish their wives." After sorting out my thoughts, I took a shallow bite, still familiar sweetness. Is it delicious, Kara? Yates looked at me tenderly. Before I could open my mouth, the man's next sentence made the smile on my corner of my mouth freeze. If you're not angry, Leah said she wants to stay at our house for a few days. You won't mind, will you? 3. Leah is going to live in my house with Yates? No wonder the man was so attentive and gentle this morning. It turns out he was waiting for me. If I refuse, will I be labeled as difficult to serve again? Putting down the cake in my hand, the sweetness in my mouth instantly turned bitter, making it hard for me to swallow. Love her so much that you help her everywhere. This man who used to say he loved and spoiled me is now so eager to use those business war tactics against me? I don't mind, let her come. Since things have come to this, there's nothing much I can say. Thank you, Sister Kara. I knew you weren't that petty. As soon as I finished speaking, Leah jumped out of my bedroom. It turns out she never left. But Sister Kara, I really like the master bedroom. Can you let me have it? I slept in your master bedroom last night, and it was so comfortable. Looking up at Leah's arrogant smile, I almost vomited. What kind of upbringing would make a girl sleep in another couple's bed? And now she's still showing off in front of her wife. But I don't care anymore. I've made it clear to Yates that nothing here has anything to do with me. I cleared my throat. Yates, there's something I want to tell you. Sister Kara, are you angry with me? Before I could finish speaking, I was interrupted by Leah's coquettish voice. She looked at me pitifully and shrank into Yates' arms. Sister Kara, I'm so scared. Are you going to drive me away? I didn't. I was interrupted again. Kara, you're so grown up and you're still arguing with Leah? Can you be a little more like a soon-to-be married adult? Looking at Yates' furrowed brow and impatient eyes, I felt so strange. I never said I was going to drive Leah away. But Leah made a fuss and my fiancé was accusing me. After 3 years of love, Kara, in your boyfriend's eyes, are you just such an image? Tears had already flowed dry last night. I could only smile bitterly and explain. I didn't mean to drive you away. You can stay here as long as you want. After all, I'm going to marry Xavier's son soon. So Leah can marry Yates if she wants to. I just don't know. My smile now is 100 times uglier than crying. Yates looked at me hesitantly, took Leah's arm and left, and dropped a casual sentence before leaving. Leah has a new job today. She's going to be my assistant. I have to go with her to get used to it. She's not like you, she needs me. The expression management that I had barely maintained finally fell apart at this moment. It turns out that when people are at their most painful, they can't stand. I buried my face on the table and cried loudly. 3 years of youth fed to the dogs. I have never been so sure as I am now. I've been with Yates for 3 years. When we first got together, we didn't have any money. So I accompanied him to rent a house and run errands. That house was a bit drafty and not warm in winter, but we were not cold at all. He would hold me tightly in his arms and warm my feet with his chest, swearing over and over again in my ear that he would never leave me. At that time, he was not the successful Yates executive he is now, and we didn't have the big house we have now. But at that time we loved each other, and we loved each other deeply. When the first business deal was successful, and we saw the money credited to our bank card, we laughed happily and hugged each other and cried. Now he is a young and successful man with a good income, but he starts to perfunctorily give me a fake silver ring and scolds me for others. Now the beautiful big house seems to be a cage that traps me, little by little eroding all my love. And finally, on the 3rd anniversary of our love, it gave me the fatal blow. Go ahead. Staying any longer would just make people laugh at me for nothing. 4. I found my suitcase and started packing my things silently. Looking around, there were hardly any of my things in the huge house. Since we've been together, I've always felt sorry for Yates's great work pressure. Not to mention that men who run errands outside always have to look decent. I secretly gave him money to buy clothes and accessories every day, but what I wear is still the old style from 3 years ago. Suddenly, I remembered Leah's rich young lady look, which I vaguely saw on a webpage. It was beautiful but also very expensive. It's not something a new assistant with an ordinary family can afford. It's probably Yates's favoritism. Love is like a cough, everyone can see it. Just like now, I can also understand that he loves Leah. Beep, beep, beep. I answered the phone, and Yates' low voice came from the other end. Kara, are you busy? No. I don't know why Yates suddenly called me. Could it be that he knows I'm going to get engaged? I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something too. Can you listen to me seriously? I mustered up the courage to ask Yates back. After all, I'm leaving tomorrow. Kara, can I go first? Don't be angry. Leah is in a bad mood on her first day at work. She wants me to accompany her to the amusement park for a few days. If you have anything to say, wait for me to come back. After all, I'm already on my way to the airport with Leah now. If there's anything really, we can't explain it clearly on the phone. Is Yates training a dog? Give a slap and then a sweet date. He made a cake to coax me into letting Leah live in the house. And now he's taking the initiative to call to care about me and tell me that he's going out to play with Leah alone. I was still thinking about telling him clearly about breaking up. It's unnecessary. It's really unnecessary. In his eyes now, I'm just a dispensable wife. If I leave directly, he might feel more comfortable. After all, it would be a bit guilty to say goodbye face to face. Well, I see, but I don't have anything to say. Have fun. The man's cheerful laughter came. Kara is getting more and more obedient. I'll make up for your engagement gift when I get back. I hung up and blocked him directly without finishing listening. After all, I probably won't be in touch with Yates for the rest of my life. I'm about to get married, and he's about to get married too, so it's not appropriate to keep the contact information. I retied my hair and put on a light makeup in front of the mirror, lightly sweeping my eyebrows, reflecting a still impeccable beauty. The beauty has not faded, but the love has ended first. Dragging my suitcase out, I found a hotel and checked in. The receptionist was stunned for a moment when she saw me. Sorry, sister, you're so beautiful. I was just stunned. I smiled slightly and thanked her before going to the room with my luggage. I'm not the worthless old woman in Yates' eyes. I'm still young. At night, I was about to call the hotel to ask why they hadn't delivered the food yet, when a strange number called me. Sister Kara, why did you block Brother Yates? I've never seen a woman as cold-blooded as you. Is this Leah calling me to scold me after Yates found out he was blocked? As you wish, I'm leaving. I wish you a happy marriage, and don't bother me anymore. After I finished speaking, I directly blocked Leah as well, so that she would stop pestering me. These words were sincere. After all, I'm about to get married, and I really don't want to have any more trouble. As for Yates' attitude, I directly assumed that he wanted to break up long ago. After dinner, I had a good night's sleep. Early the next morning, I took a taxi to the airport. Sitting on the plane, I still felt a little unreal, but looking at the empty blue sky and white clouds outside the window, I also felt a sense of relief. At that time, I didn't know that Yates would look for me all over the world later. 5. As soon as I got off the plane, I saw my mother and Xavier waiting for me. Kara, you're finally back. You don't know how much I've missed you these past few years, Mom, really. Look at you, you've lost weight, and your clothes are out of style. You must have suffered a lot. My mother wiped her tears and looked me up and down carefully, and my heart ached a little. I'm an unfilial daughter. After graduation, Yates said he wanted to start a business, so I accompanied him for 3 whole years. Now I can finally go home to take care of my mother. Before I could finish my thought, my mother grabbed the young man next to her and introduced me. This is Xavier. Xavier, look. Do you still recognize me? You played very well when you were young. The man in front of me was tall and jade-like, with handsome features, and he was looking at me intently. Hello, Mr. Xavier, my name is Kara. Being stared at by such a handsome man, anyone would be shy, and now I lowered my head and dared not look up, my cheeks flushed with a layer of blush. Kara, can you not call me Mr. Xavier? I'm Xavier. And besides, we're getting married next week. Xavier? A clear and beautiful boy appeared in my memory. When my father was still alive, his good friend Uncle Wyatt often brought his son to play at my house. Although he was a boy, the boy was more beautiful than any girl I had ever met. So when I was young, I threatened him every day to marry me. At that time, I didn't quite understand what marry meant. I only knew that the bride at the wedding was always glamorous. It would be so honorable to have such a beautiful person as my bride. Every time I said that, the boy's ears would turn red, and he would stammer and agree to marry me. But later, my father died, and my mother took me away from that sad place, and the boy named Xavier gradually faded out of my life. Now that old friends have met again, I looked up happily, and the man was looking at me with a face full of pampering. In an instant, my heart skipped a beat. After going home with my mother, I was about to go into the kitchen to cook. I just got home. I should cook a meal to thank you for taking care of my mom for so many years. Unexpectedly, the man walked into the kitchen more familiarly than me, and after hearing my words, he turned around and smiled. Kara, in our family men cook, and the wife just needs to taste the food and give her opinion. You can try my cooking first today. Wife. I was flushed by him, and quickly ran to watch TV with my mother. As soon as I saw me, my mother couldn't help but chatter to me. Kara, Mom won't harm you. This Xavier is much better than that Yates. He's good looking and good at cooking. And when you were away, he came to chat and cook with Mom every week. Xavier's family business is even bigger now. Logically speaking, we were a little bit worse off. But Xavier is sincere to you. And he has already said that he would not marry anyone but you. And your Uncle Wyatt and Aunt Mabel also like you. They are your dad's old friends. In short, you won't be wronged if you marry him. And Mom can feel at ease. Every time my mother said a word, my face turned redder. When my mother finished speaking, I only felt my face was burning hot. Mom, I didn't know Xavier was so outstanding before I came back. I don't know if he will like me. How could it not be? You don't know. I quickly covered my mother's mouth and pulled her to eat. I dare not listen to what she said. On the dining table, there were already many dishes. Winter melon soup with bird's nest, walnut paste, crystal shrimp, sweet and sour carp cherry meat. All my favorites. Then, Xavier brought out a chiffon cake and looked at me with a smile. Mom said you love sweets, so I specially learned how to make cakes. Looking at the considerate and gentle Xavier, my mother with a face full of relief, and a table full of steaming dishes, I was a little dazed. Is this moment of happiness really mine? Xavier, who is so good to me, will he dislike me for being with Yates for 3 years? 6. He seemed to see my concern at a glance, and took out a delicate little box from his pocket. Kneeling on one knee, he slowly opened it. It was a pigeon egg that I had once yearned for but could not afford. It was so luxurious that it made people gasp. Kara, I want to marry you not on a whim, but a dream that has lasted for 10 years. When you moved away, I was still young, and I could only watch you leave helplessly, but now I've grown up, and I've also taken charge of the Xavier family, and I have enough strength and ability to protect you and take care of you. Don't leave me again, okay? Actually, in those 3 years in a city, I went to see you every month, but you never noticed me. Every time I saw you happy, I was happy too. And when you were unhappy, I was so sad, but there was nothing I could do. I was afraid that suddenly appearing would scare you. But now you've broken up, and you've finally agreed to my proposal. Can you give me a chance to love you well? Under the lights, the man's eyes were as bright as stars, waiting for my answer. Good. After mumbling my agreement, my heart pounded like a drum. What I didn't know was that in a city, Yates also bought a diamond ring. When he found that he couldn't reach me, he felt uneasy about the trip to the amusement park, and only stayed for 2 days before bringing Leah back. The car suddenly stopped at an auction house, and the man went in inexplicably and directly bid for the most expensive ring in the whole hall. Everyone gasped at President Yates' generosity, and the women looked at Leah enviously. Leah coquettishly in the spotlight, trying to reach out. Brother Yates is always so good to me. Is it because the trip to the amusement park was too short to compensate me? Yates just smiled at her. Leah, this is not for you. Leah's smile froze on her face, and her outstretched hand became a laughingstock. Brother Yates, are you joking with me? Yates looked at her inexplicably and replied solemnly. This is for my wife. I proposed to her. The testing method you gave me last time was too childish. I have to go back and coax her quickly. I hope it's not too late. After saying that, he rushed out of the auction house, leaving Leah alone. When he returned home, Yates felt inexplicably uneasy when he saw the slightly empty house. It was still the same as 2 days ago, as if no one had been there for the past 2 days. He reluctantly interpreted this as, I've been staying in the room obediently and haven't come out. Kara. Bedroom, living room, study, dressing room. The man searched one room after another, but still couldn't find me. The panic turned into palpitations. As if realizing something, he quickly called my friend. Hello, I am. Beep. The phone was hung up. The phone almost fell out of his hand, and Yates frantically dialed almost every common friend in his contact list, begging them to tell him where I went. When the 30-second call was connected, the other party finally replied impatiently. Kara is getting married, and she has started posting wedding photos on social media. Why are you looking for someone now? You've been with her for 3 years, and you're still not responsible. You're really embarrassing our men. Slap. The phone fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Yates couldn't believe what he had just heard, and he was dazed for a moment before coming to his senses. Kara's getting married? The groom is someone else? I haven't been responsible for 3 years? No. I'm not irresponsible. I bought the most expensive ring to compensate Kara. She won't be angry with me. She loves me so much. It doesn't matter about the wedding photos. We haven't really gotten the certificate yet. She loves me so much. She will come back. I have to go find her right away. I'm going now. After mumbling to himself for a while, Yates suddenly knelt down and cried. Only now did he realize what he had done. Will I really forgive him? 7. I didn't expect to run into Yates so soon. At that time, I was holding Xavier's hand and was still choosing a wedding dress. I just tried it on. This one looks good, but that mermaid style is also very suitable. I was dazzled by the handmade wedding dresses here, and I felt that everyone was beautiful. Since you like them all, let's just take them all, and you can wear them after we get married. The man looked at me with a warm smile. I had been with Yates for 3 years before, but I never got married. But less than a week after reuniting with Xavier, we were already choosing wedding dresses. Love and not love, it turns out to be so obvious. Kara, that unwilling memory of the male voice made my heart palpitate instinctively. Turning around, Yates saw the hand I was holding with the man, and his eyes instantly turned red. Kara, come here, come home with me. I instinctively hid in Xavier's arms. I'm going to marry my husband. I'm not going back with you. Husband? Kara, you've never called me husband. Yates' expression was so cold that it was about to freeze into a layer of ice. After saying that, the man's big hand was about to grab my arm, as if he wanted to take me back and imprison me. Slap. I slapped him hard across the face. Yates touched the bright red palm print on his face and looked at me incredulously, his eyes shattered. Kara, you hit me? With our relationship, how can you bear to hit me? I rubbed my reddened palm and looked at him indifferently. Why can't I hit you? When I loved you, you perfunctorily gave me a fake ring, and then turned around and bought gold for that green tea Leah. I wish you a long and happy life with that bitch, so I quit and I don't care. But why do you come to disturb my happiness? Yates' face turned pale inch by inch, his lips trembled and he could hardly speak. Kara, I was wrong. At that time, Leah insisted on asking me to test you. She said that if you really loved me, you would be happy with my proposal even with the cheapest ring. I laughed at his pale and weak explanation. Test? Yates, you not only have no love, but you also have no conscience. I don't love you? Who was it who accompanied you tirelessly when you lived in the basement? Who was it who stayed up late to help you make a plan when you were running errands? I originally thought you didn't love me, but today I realized that you are an ungrateful person. You never believed me. Yates knelt down and cried loudly, slapping himself while crying. After a while, as if he remembered something, he took a shiny diamond ring out of his pocket, raised his eyes, and begged me to take it with pleading eyes. Kara, I really know I was wrong, so I bought the most expensive ring as soon as I came back. It's specially for you. Forgive me, okay? I shook my right hand, and the huge pigeon egg sparkled brilliantly. Your ring is as mediocre as your love. After saying that, I left with Xavier. Yates knelt in the wedding dress shop, crying and laughing. Crying is because he lost Kara forever, and laughing is laughing at himself for being the biggest fool in the world. When I got home, I felt a little apologetic to Xavier. I'm sorry, Xavier. I didn't handle my premarital relationship well, and made you a laughingstock. The man kissed my brow helplessly. My Kara is so brave. You were so cool just now. Fortunately, that guy is still honest. If he dared to fight back, I would help you deal with him. 8. Before, I just raised my voice a little, and Yates would accuse me of being irritable and materialistic. Today I hit him directly, and Xavier praised me for being brave. I made the right choice. 3 days later I married Xavier. It was the grandest wedding ever held in Sea City, and it is still talked about today. When When Xavier led me into the old Xavier house, my phone suddenly rang. A stranger transferred 5 million to me. Note: today is your wedding day. This money is my dowry, and I have also married you in this life. I ignored it. Yates' current career success also has my undeniable help, and this money can be considered as an assistant fee, and it is also reasonable to accept it. Later, I heard from a familiar old friend that Leah had gone to find Yates again, saying that she wanted to marry him, but Yates drove her away directly, threatening that if she dared to come again, he would not let her go, saying that Leah was the one who made him lose the love of his life. When I was with him, he was affectionate with Leah. After I left, he fell madly in love with me again. How absurd. But none of this matters to me anymore. I stroked my pregnant belly and nestled in Xavier's arms. Our hearts are as one, and our life is peaceful.